Hi guys, I'm Chaos ASMR, and I hope this video finds you doing well. Well, as usual, it's very late in the evening, and I should be sleeping. But as usual, my mind is racing with thoughts that I thought I'd share with you tonight. This is Late Night Thoughts, episode 2. What's on my mind tonight is the human mind and consciousness is truly infinite in its capacity. Geez, what's this guy talking about, right? Allow me to explain my thought process. You know how they say the universe is infinite? It is constantly expanding. Therefore, it has no physical limits. Well, I was thinking about this. The human mind really has absolutely no limit as to the amount of things it can learn, perceive, adapt. Each and every single day as we continue on our daily lives, we're always constantly taking in and processing new information. But it's not as if one day it all of a sudden, limit exceeded. Please delete memories in order to make room for new ones. Or please delete information. Delete that the grass is green out of your mind to replace it with apples are red in your mind. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at pretty much anything else in the world, even the planet itself, there are physical limitations that are put on things. This room that I'm in has only so much space for new things to be put in. Something like the ocean that's vast and absolutely huge, unfathomably large, could still be filled up to its absolute capacity. But the mind can't. Now, there are, diseases and conditions where memory is impaired, things like amnesia, dementia, these types of things, and that is true. I'm more saying in a neurotypical brain. I don't like using the word normal because, everyone's so different, has such different experiences, perspectives, ideas on things. So I don't personally believe that a baseline of normal really exists. I would say typical, what you'd expect. But within that typical brain that you would expect, there are no real physical limitations. Well, physical, yes. I mean, pretty much not much room left in the skull. But I think you guys get what I'm saying in that, human potential for knowledge and learning is absolutely infinite. And I can only say that about 3 things. The universe, which again is constantly expanding. The human mind. And more interestingly, the cloud, or the internet, cyberspace. And that kind of gets me going on the thought of artificial intelligence. If us and the universe are the only things that are infinitely expanding. And now with the advent of artificial intelligence, I know the cloud and digital storage is not quite artificial intelligence, but that just opens up the question to me, where is that going to lead at some point in the future? Truly, those are the only 3 things I can think of that have an infinite amount of space to them. And depending on who you talk to, depending on what you believe and what they believe, there is a fairly common belief that consciousness itself is one entity that is connected in the universe, and we all share that collective consciousness. Perhaps you've heard this before, and I know it really sounds like, oh yeah, tell us more, chaos, but I think there's really something to that. I've heard of that before, and if prior to the cloud, or take the digital cyberspace out of it, the human mind and the universe are the only things that are constantly expanding and can never be completely filled. And maybe there is something to that we are one collective consciousness here floating on this marble in space. So the big question, what does this mean for us? I have no idea. I truly don't. These are just, again, the thoughts that go through my head at 2 a.m. that keep me awake at night. Consciousness being what it is, the fact that we are aware of it but can't really describe it, is fascinating in and out of itself. You're aware that you are a living, breathing, independently thinking, well, depends on who you ask, entity, and yet I don't know if that's fully been established where that comes from. I guess if you would call that the soul, if you would call it the consciousness, if you would call it energy, I don't know. Energy is a pretty interesting thing too. A lot of people think, the transfer of energy, and that's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But when you study anatomy, and particularly physiology, actually, you do learn that there are literal electrical currents being charged throughout our body in order for us to feel things through the use of our nerves. There's something called the sodium-potassium pump, the charging of ions at lightning fast speed, making us electrical beings that can move, touch, feel. And then you get into people that are can read auras. Have you ever heard of that? Reading auras, electromagnetic fields that are emitted from the human body and the bodies of all living things. When I was much younger, probably in my mid to late teens, I thought I had this gift that I could see electromagnetic fields around people. Now, it wasn't as if, that person has a purple aura, that person has a yellow aura, that person has a red aura. I really, really had to concentrate, and oftentimes it would help if someone was, put their hand in front of a white piece of paper, or I looked at them long enough that my eyes started to defocus, and from there I would see a colored outline around people. But I never really knew what it meant, and it was only with people, not animals or plants or other living things like that. I don't know, maybe I was reading the electromagnetic fields and auras of people. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure if I absolutely tried and gave it 100% effort, maybe I could try it again and have some results, but to be honest with you, it's not something that I give too much thought anymore in this day and age, but that's a little fun fact about me. Energy exchange between people is very, very real. How, you can get the feeling that someone doesn't like you, or the opposite, where you just make like an instant connection with people that you've just met and you feel like you've known them for years. What could that be other than an energy exchange? I truly wonder. Because ultimately, meeting someone, for the most part, is generally the same experience. I mean, there are other things to take into consideration, like facial expressions, body language, cadence, tone of voice. But I'm talking when you meet someone and you truly feel safe, secure, connected to that person, and not in a romantic way. I'm just saying in an energy type of way, And again, like I know some of you guys are probably rolling your eyes at this, and I'm not trying to preach. That is not the idea of these videos in any way, shape, or form. It's late. I can't sleep. I come out here, click, turn the camera on, start talking. I have absolutely no plan as to how these little chats are going to go, nor do I have any expectation of how they should go. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think that we're all part of one collective consciousness that is living individually through us, gaining experiences through us? It's a big idea to wrap your head around, for sure. It's definitely a heady conversation. But as I said in the last episode of Late Night Thoughts, I hate small talk. These are the things that I really love talking about with people. I mean, it helps when it's face to face and others are giving me input at the same time, and I'm not just talking to myself at 2 a.m. But, I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like, you know who you are, and I know who you are, that I'm getting through right now, and we're vibing, you know what I'm saying? And that makes me think about the energy of, like, ghosts and paranormal things. I've never once had any kind of a paranormal experience in my life. I'm not discrediting it in any way. I keep an open mind to a lot of things. What makes me slightly skeptical is all these shows and everything. I don't know if you ever saw them, but when I was a kid, ghost hunters or finding Bigfoot or anything like that, it all just seemed like, okay, how on YouTube the thumbnails are just, and I'm guilty of this too, but out of control clickbait, and you watch a 20-minute video and it has nothing to do with, maybe 10 seconds of the video reflects what was in the thumbnail, but it's a vibrant, loud, really eye-catching thumbnail. I feel like a lot of those shows about the paranormal and Bigfoot, aliens, UFO are like that. It's just like, if it's an hour-long show, it's like 50 minutes of garbage, and then 10 minutes of someone running with the poorest quality camera that money can buy, running, shaking, going through the woods and saying, oh, if you freeze it here, look at what that was, So I think those types of documentaries and things really discredit the idea of, like, paranormal entities and energies that may or may not exist upon us. I know that, like, psychic mediums exist, and I actually did what did I do? A fortune-telling role play on this channel a little while ago. Ooh, and you know what I did? I used the Barnum effect in that video. So if you're watching this, I'm gonna link to that video at the end of this video, okay? It's a really, really interesting phenomenon, the Barnum effect. It's essentially what a lot of these, like, swindler fortune tellers will use, and I'm not discrediting anyone who does fortune telling, Reiki, energy readings, anything like that. Like I say, I really keep an open mind to it, but there are people who will definitely, don't possess the skill, or nor do they want to, and they're just trying to swindle people out of money. So these are the people I'm talking to, okay? Like, I'm a holistic health practitioner, so please don't think I'm throwing shade on the real ones. But the Barnum effect is a series of statements, essentially, that could apply to everyone. And I used a lot of them in that fortune-telling roleplay video. Like, you find value in things greater than money. You find it in people. You find it in experiences. You find it in the greater joys of life. Yet, at the same time, you're always worried about money. Like, that's a statement that one of these phonies could tell you, and you think, wow, yeah, that really does describe me. But everyone says that. These are statements and ideas that are purposely designed to resonate with everyone while seeming unique to that person. It's an interesting, very interesting phenomenon, the Barnum effect. Look it up if you are interested in that. And you'll see in my roleplay video how I did in my fortune teller roleplay, how I did exactly that. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Speaking of energy, Halloween is upon us right now. I got the skull back here for a little bit of Halloween decor. Let me see. A little bit of ASMR action for you guys. I want to know, do you guys celebrate Halloween? Do you like it? I personally just see it as an excuse to have a little bit of fun, get dressed up, go socialize, have a party, have a couple of drinks with people. I've never really looked into the ancient, old-timey, pagan, ritualistic side to it. Nor am I particularly interested in that. To be honest with you, I just, you know what, the only time I'm concerned with is having a good one. Which, is not true. I give great care and detail to a lot of things, but when it comes to Halloween, yeah, I'm just about having a good time and having some fun, letting loose a little bit. Well, you guys, I think that might be it for tonight. I don't have any obscure, blaring thoughts. I feel like I've kind of gotten it all out this evening. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section if you have any profound stories or anything related to what I've talked about tonight. Please get the conversation started. I look so forward to reading and responding to comments, especially as a small YouTuber. When I get that notification, it's like, ooh, someone commented, like, what are they saying? It's good. And on a side note, I'm really happy with how this channel is growing and the community is building. It's awesome. I can't wait to unlock community posts. When you're going through YouTube and you can see text posts, whether they have a poll attached to them or a vote, or it's just text and you guys responding in the comments. I think that will be an invaluable way to connect with you guys further. And so I'm really looking forward to unlocking that feature on YouTube, hopefully pretty soon. Personally, I think it should be available to every creator at every subscriber level and hours watched level. I think you should directly be able to communicate to your subscribers in their news feed or their feed on YouTube, but that might just be me. Let me know about that too. Well, you guys, this has been an interesting rant, I think. And thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it, you guys. I know that these are pretty drawn out, pretty slow paced videos, but that's the idea. It's for those of you guys who just want to kick back, relax, throw this on, and who knows, maybe provoke a certain kind of thought out of you guys. Well, I'm Chaos ASMR. This has been Late Night Thoughts, episode 2. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.